You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my kids scared of me. I don't want them to do things out of fear. I want them to do things out of trust.
So he created Adam and Eve because he wanted a relationship with free will.
I think Adam and Eve were literally fabricated. I truly do. So the day that you start going, oh my Jesus versus my Lord, you have already failed.
So who's Jesus to you then?
Jesus is a speaker. Jesus is no different than you and I.
Was the story of Adam and Eve and other stories from the Bible fabricated? Was Jesus just a messenger? Is he no different from you and I?
What is it then?
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
Where do you source that?
Because I had to learn that in order to educate my children. I didn't want my kids to go to daycare, so therefore I had to step up my education level so that they could skip those 7 years. Well, that required me to be more patient, tolerant, and be more willing to explain what I'm trying to say. Because I grew up in a household where they told you what they wanted you to do. And either you did it or you didn't. If you didn't, you got an ass whoop. If you did, then you just got it done. So I tried to use that philosophy, and my children started becoming afraid of me. And I was like, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my kids scared of me. I don't want them to do things out of fear. I want them to do things out of trust. That they believe that what I say is what is gonna happen. And once I learned that, that's when I became a great parent.
Failure taught him patience.
So where did you source that wisdom? Who?
Failure.
Failure?
Yeah.
Is there like
when you turn the corner, when you walk in the room trying to surprise your kids for fun,
yeah,
and they draw back in fear like you're gonna hit them, that changes your ideology on how you interact with them, because they see you as something to fear, and I'm your father. You should never be afraid of me, ever. The best lesson I can teach you, and this is what you can't put in a book, is you've got to learn to understand your children. You've got to learn. Here's the thing about it. You are the adult. They are the child. You have to learn to understand their message. They don't know how to convey it like you and I do. If you and I have a disagreement, but we don't have a problem, we can talk about it. You see what I'm saying?
Like, what happens if you weren't around and you got hit?
I don't think about that.
But I'm saying if you
but I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to where I didn't have to, so I don't think about that scenario.
Sure. All I can think about is what can I do better? Yeah.
In the next conversation. But what I've learned as an adult is you've got to be graceful with your words. It still has to have gravity. And it has to have understanding. If it doesn't make sense and it just feels like pressure, then they're gonna tune it out.
Grace carries more weight than pressure.
If you're not, what I'm saying, if I get hit by an ugly bus, who's gonna guide them and provide these?
Here we go again.
These lessons that you're talking about.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's an answer that only you can answer. I started analyzing my environment. As soon as I found out I was having my oldest son, I started looking at everybody in my circumference. And they came under two categories. One, who do I want to educate my child, and who do I not want to educate my child? And I instantly started excluding friends based off of that. They didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But it's who you are and what you represent is not what I want in my children's world. And that's what literally, that's the biggest saving grace is. It's like I weeded out the people who will abuse my children's honesty. My mom, my stepdad, my brother, my sister, everybody, they always shot me straight. So I'm like, you don't have to deal with liars.
What happens when our body malfunctions or expires? What's your belief in that?
Our spirit carries to another vessel. Like, I don't believe that we go anywhere holistic.
Do you believe in a heaven or nirvana, or what do you believe?
I believe in carryover.
What is that?
I believe that our spirit, it inhabits another vessel. And what we consider a consciousness is a past soul trying to get right.
There's no heaven then?
Do you really want me to answer that?
Yeah. I'm
No, there's not.
Because
Energy transfers. Energy doesn't dissipate. For there to be a heaven, energy would have to carry over to it. We would not have to wait for a lightning storm to know that heaven exists. The one thing science has taught us is energy travels. Regardless, it either explodes and creates catastrophe, or it keeps traveling.
No heaven, just energy.
so we're just living in a loop, and there's no
That's the evolution of life.
there's no purpose. So there's no purpose, more or less.
Well, yeah, there is a purpose because you're trying to leave a mark before you go.
But what?
It doesn't. Hold on, wait. It doesn't matter if it's a substantial mark to where the world sees it. But if everyone that you know and love, when they speak your name, they all either glow or they give some kind of positive message, you've left the same example as a historian. Because your name will echo for 100 years.
Well,
The message is more important than the vessel.
Yeah.
And right now, the world puts everything into the vessel. And I feel like a lot of people think going to heaven and hell is, what type of vessel are you? I've gone to jail. There are bad people that have had positive messages. So where the fuck are they supposed to go?
what I read about Jesus is the F word. He's got the biggest F word, right?
Can I be honest with you though?
Yeah, go for it.
Based off of the Quran, stop believing in Jesus because God is the all-being. And people that put Jesus above God, that's no different than putting Santa Claus above God. Celebrating Jesus is a sin because anybody that you put in higher power than God is a sin in the Quran. Anybody. It doesn't matter what their title is. God is all being. Anybody on this planet, God put them there to distribute his message. So the day that you start going, oh my Jesus versus my Lord, you have already failed.
So who's Jesus to you then?
Jesus is a speaker.
Just a,
Jesus is no different than you and I.
Does he?
It's just the environment that he was in. Jesus was in poverty, and Jesus had a positive voice during poverty.
He wasn't perfect, like it says in the.
He didn't need to be perfect.
That's-
He had the right message, and he motivated people. We know his birth, and we know his coming.
Yeah.
But they never talk about his upbringing. So how do we know what failures he had in life?
We don't, I guess.
Exactly.
Other than.
Can I tell you why that is? Because they want Jesus to be the all great.
Is Jesus divine, or is he just a messenger?
God removed Adam and Eve from the garden, right?
Yeah?
Why did he do that?
That I don't know. See, there you go. You can't ask me to answer questions.
Well,
that I don't know.
this is what I believe. I believe.
What do you think? Because it's all a theory.
Yeah. I believe because it says in the book in Genesis 3, he put angels and fires around.
But here's the thing about it.
Because he didn't want them to. I believe because he didn't want them to be stuck in a state of death, so that they can have an He loved them first, so he removed them so that they can have an opportunity for him to have another audible play.
But here's the dilemma with that.
Jesus.
Here's the dilemma with that. He had an ideology, he had a plan, but he messed up when he gave Adam and Eve choice.
But that's free will of love.
Well, that's human, but also at the same time,
That means he gave us an
that's human nature, right?
Sure, but why create a robot? There's no love in that. He created Adam and Eve because he wanted a relationship with free will.
I think Adam and Eve were literally fabricated. I truly do. I think every human being in the Bible was fabricated.
But you just told me you want a relationship with your kids, and that's all God wants from us.
But what does that got to do with the relationship with my kids? Like, one has nothing to do with the other.
Hence, you need this higher being.
No. Hence, you need a higher knowledge internally.
A heated debate ended as a new friendship. Proverbs 27 verse 17, iron sharpens iron.
Thank
All
you.
right, bro.
Thank
This
you.
was a fun conversation.
Yes, sir.
You take care. Have a good day. Be safe.
You too.
I'll talk to you later, bro.
Fear creates distance. Love builds trust. Subscribe for more real and honest conversations.